The Shattered Dawn, unraveling the mystery of Atlantis for millennia. The legend of Atlantis has captivated the human imagination. It's a story steeped in myth, rumor, and mystery. An advanced civilization, lost to the sea, in the blink of an eye. Vanishing from history without a trace, Atlantis, often described as a utopian society of unmatched power and wisdom, became a symbol of both humanity's reach and its fallibility. But, as centuries passed, the line between myth and history began to blur, leaving us to wonder, did Atlantis truly exist, or is it nothing more than a dream? The birth of the legend. First recorded mention of Atlantis comes from the works of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, who wrote about the fabled island in his dialogues, Timaeus and Creusa. Around 360 BCE, according to Plato, Atlantis was a vast island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. It was a place of exceptional beauty, wealth, and power, home to a people who were equal to the gods in wisdom, craftsmanship, and technological advancement. Plato's account described the Atlanteans as a mighty empire that once spanned much of the known world, but the prosperity of Atlantis was short. Over time, the Atlanteans grew corrupt and greedy, and their society began to decay. In a final act of divine retribution, the gods sent a cataclysmic disaster, earthquakes and floods that swallowed Atlantis whole, sinking it into the ocean, leaving nothing behind but myth and legend. While Plato's account has been the cornerstone of Atlantis lore, its historical authenticity has been a subject of debate for centuries. Was Plato's story a work of fiction, a moral tale warning against hubris and decadence? Or was it based on a real event that has since been lost to time? Theories of a real Atlantis over the centuries. Many explorers, archaeologists, and armchair theorists have set out to solve the enigma of Atlantis. Theories abound, each offering tantalizing glimpses of what the island might have been. The Mediterranean hypothesis of the earliest and most persistent theories is that Atlantis was located somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea. Many scholars have suggested that the story of Atlantis may have been inspired by the Minoan civilization, which thrived on the island of Crete. The Minoans were advanced in many ways, boasting sophisticated art, writing, and engineering, and they were famously wiped out by a catastrophic event around 1450 BCE, likely a volcanic eruption on the island of Thera. The eruption caused massive tsunamis that devastated the Minoan fleet, leading some to argue that Plato's account was a distorted memory of this event. The Caribbean and the Bermuda Triangle. For centuries, the Bermuda Triangle has been a hotbed for mystery and speculation, with many believing it to be the final resting place of Atlantis. The theory holds that the lost island is buried somewhere beneath the waves of the Atlantic Ocean, its ruins still hiding beneath the waters off the coast of the Bahamas, or in the mysterious depths of the Bermuda Triangle. Proponents of this idea point to unexplained phenomena in the region, such as strange magnetic anomalies, and the unexplained disappearance of ships and aircraft, as evidence of the lost city's existence. The Antarctic theorion of the more outlandish and controversial theories posits that Atlantis was located in what is now Antarctica. This theory, often referred to as the Polar Atlantis hypothesis, suggests that the icy continent was once a lush, temperate landmass. According to this idea, Atlantis was a thriving civilization that lived in Antarctica, before a sudden polar shift or other cataclysmic event caused the land to freeze over. Proponents argue that ancient maps, like the Peary Race map, which depicts the Antarctic coastline without ice, provide indirect evidence of this once thriving civilization. The Azores and the Mid-Atlantic ridgeological evidence has led some to propose that Atlantis may have been located in the Azores, a group of islands in the North Atlantic. The Azores are situated along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a tectonic boundary that is still geologically active. Some have suggested that Atlantis could have been a part of this ridge, which might have once been above sea level before being submerged by volcanic activity or an earthquake. Proponents of this theory point to the region's unusual underwater structures and geological formations as potential remnants of an ancient civilization. The lasting legacy of Atlantis. Whether Atlantis existed in some form or not, the legend of the lost city continues to haunt us, capturing the imagination of generations. Atlantis represents more than just a civilization lost to the sea. It is the embodiment of humanity, its greatest fears and hopes, the fear of a society that rises too high only to fall too far, and the hope that something beautiful, something profound might still be hidden just beyond our reach. In modern times, The myth of Atlantis has evolved beyond Plato's original telling. It has become a symbol for our collective yearning for knowledge, exploration, and discovery. Films, books, and documentaries about Atlantis continue to shape popular culture, making it a touchstone for our fascination with the unknown. Perhaps the greatest mystery of Atlantis lies not in its geographical location but in its cultural significance. The story of the lost city speaks to the heart of what it means to be human, to build, to dream, and to wonder about the civilizations that have come before us, and whether we too will leave behind a legacy that will be remembered or lost to the ocean. The mystery of Atlantis, whether rooted in historical fact or built from the imagination of the ancient world, remains unsolved. But as long as we continue to search, to dream, and to ask questions, the story of Atlantis will remain one of the most enduring and powerful legends in human history.